In the summer of 2019, an amateur radio operator in Argentina detected a faint rhythmic signal coming from deep space. At first glance, it resembled nothing unusual, just another piece of cosmic noise. But when the signal was analyzed, its pattern matched something extraordinary. It echoed the transmission code of a spacecraft that officially never existed. A classified American mission launched in the late Cold War, one that vanished beyond the edge of the solar system. A mission known only as Project Arabos. Tonight, we uncover the story of the spacecraft that disappeared into the interstellar dark and the signal that suggests it may not be alone. The 1980s, when the Cold War was at its peak. The United States and the Soviet Union were locked in a fierce technological race. While NASA publicly advanced missions like Voyager and Pioneer, another secret race was unfolding behind closed doors. Intelligence agencies around the world had begun detecting strange structured signals originating from regions far beyond our solar system. Officially, these signals were dismissed as unusual pulsar activity. Unofficially, they deeply worried military analysts. The reason was simple. The signals were not random. They appeared patterned, mathematical, and intentional. In response, a secret division within the U.S. Air Force Space Command launched a highly classified project hidden within black budget programs. Its objective was simple yet unprecedented: to send a spacecraft beyond the sun's protective boundary and investigate the source of the unexplained transmissions. The project was given the codename Arabos. There would be no public announcements, no NASA oversight, and no guarantee that the spacecraft would ever return. On a quiet morning in June 1989, a rocket lifted off from a remote facility in the Pacific. There was no crowd, no media, not even a public schedule. To most observers, it was an unmarked military test. To the handful of people involved, it was the beginning of one of the most ambitious and dangerous expeditions ever attempted by humankind. They called the spacecraft Arabos 1. Its purpose was not exploration, but it was contact. What makes Arabos special isn't its secrecy, but its technology. Whistleblowers and leaked documents reveal that the craft used two experimental propulsion systems. The first was a magnetoplasma ion drive, an advanced engine capable of pushing a spacecraft to unprecedented speeds. The second was far more controversial, a classified gravitational resonance booster. Some claimed it was based on cutting-edge theoretical physics designed to manipulate local gravitational fields. Others believed it had been reverse-engineered from technology recovered from a crashed UFO. Whatever the truth, Arabos was designed to travel farther and faster than any spacecraft before it. Its destination was the heliopause, the boundary where the sun's influence ends and true interstellar space begins. For the first 8 months, transmissions from Arabos were routine. Telemetry, radiation levels, engine performance, nothing strange until then. But as it approached Neptune's orbit, things began to change. Engineers noticed unexplained patterns hidden within the telemetry itself. The signals were not generated by the spacecraft. They were not sent from Earth, nor could they be traced to any known natural source. Instead, they appeared as faint rhythmic pulses, almost like a response, as if something out there was answering Arabos. One communications officer reportedly wrote in a classified memo, "We are not alone on this frequency." The memo was later heavily redacted. The officer resigned the following day and was never heard from again. The heliopause is known as one of the most turbulent regions of space, where the solar wind collides with the interstellar medium. Every spacecraft approaching this boundary experiences interference, turbulence, and data loss. Every spacecraft except Arabos. On March 11, 1990, as it approached the boundary, the chaos suddenly stopped. Arabos entered a smooth corridor as if the storm had parted for it. And that wasn't all. Then the onboard cameras captured something impossible. A dark, triangular object, perfectly symmetrical, completely stationary, hovering just beyond the heliopause. Some engineers called it a spacecraft. Others described it as a machine. A few whispered another word: probe. Whatever it was, it appeared to be waiting. Over the next 48 hours, the mission entered a phase that remained shrouded in mystery. Arabos began receiving highly structured transmissions, signals too complex to decode in real time. They contained mathematical sequences, fractal patterns, and geometric bursts that evolved with every repetition. Then something even stranger happened. Arabos changed course. Mission Control had issued no commands. The onboard thrusters showed no activity, yet the spacecraft slowly altered its trajectory and began moving toward the triangular object. One engineer reportedly wrote in his final report, "Something outside is controlling Arabos, and it understands our systems." Panic spread through the command center. Operators attempted to disable the spacecraft, cut power to critical systems, and terminate communications. Nothing worked. Arabos continued drifting toward the shadow. Then, at 2:14 UTC on May 1st, 1990, the spacecraft transmitted one final message. The packet lasted only 4.8 seconds. Inside were irregular audio bursts, geometric fractal sequences, 3 repeating frequencies, and a sudden electromagnetic spike. Then came silence. The spacecraft vanished. Its beacon went dark. Its trajectory disappeared from every tracking system. There was no explosion, no debris field, and no distress signal. Arabos simply ceased to exist. Some believed it had been destroyed. Others believed it had been taken. But one detail from the final transmission continued to haunt researchers. When the audio was cleaned and filtered, a faint pattern remained. It sounded almost like a synthetic voice struggling to speak through heavy distortion. To this day, no one agrees on what it was trying to say. Within hours, Project Arabos disappeared. The facility was shut down. Personnel were reassigned. Lifetime secrecy agreements were enforced. Every trace of the mission was removed from official records. Its budget was absorbed into unrelated programs, and its name vanished from government databases. The public never knew the mission existed, yet rumors survived. Stories circulated among engineers. Fragments of documents appeared online. Whispers spread across underground forums. Most people dismissed them as fiction until the signal returned. On June 18, 2019, Argentine radio operator Luis Alvarado detected a faint repeating transmission on a deep space frequency. At first, he assumed it was ordinary interference, but the signal repeated every 19 minutes with astonishing precision. More unsettling was the fact that each cycle evolved slightly, changing its structure as though transmitting information in a slow, deliberate language. When the signal was processed through advanced software, researchers discovered something shocking. Its pattern matched the classified beacon code of Arabos 1, the same spacecraft that had vanished nearly 30 years earlier. Alvarado contacted astronomers who traced the signal's origin. It was not coming from Earth. It was not coming from anywhere near the sun. Instead, it appeared to originate from the same region where Arabos had disappeared. What they discovered next was even more unsettling. The source was moving, but not freely. Its motion suggested it was orbiting something invisible, almost like a captured object tethered to a much larger structure. Further calculations revealed that if the trajectory remained stable, the object transmitting the signal could become observable again sometime between 2031 and 2033. In the past year, telescopes aimed at the heliopause have recorded faint infrared pulses, unexplained frequency bursts, small geometric shadows too faint to classify, too structured to ignore. It may be nothing, or it may be the first sign of Erebos returning to the solar system. But returning with what? Project Arabos began as a secret Cold War experiment, a mission meant to slip into the dark without a trace. But somewhere beyond the sun's reach, and although Erebos never returned, its signal did a reminder that we are not alone and that some mysteries are not meant to stay buried forever. As new instruments watch the heliopause, one question grows louder. If Erebos made contact, is the universe preparing to answer?